Now. So you think you're a smarty pants who knows how the universe started, do you? Well, I have some news for you. And this is not without some stuff that's gonna blow your mind, because I got some scientific sources on this, all right? And the first one of all is, oh, you think it came from the material world, everything's deterministic? No. Because listen to this. First of all, Big Bang Theory stuff, first thing they figured out just as of late, dog, latest telescope seeing the farthest red-shifted galaxies, man. That stuff is, they're seeing it fully developed galaxies. Now, that's the beginning of the universe, 13.8 billion or something. That's the beginning. You should see soups and stuff moving around because it was super hot and it's the beginning of the universe. There's nothing formed. No, you see fully formed galaxies. So what really happened? Well, I'm going to tell you. Think about this. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Right now, spirit, God, right? That's the thing that lives. That's the thing inside your spirit. That's the thing. It's saying life was before the material world. And that flips everything on its head because we're always told the material world comes before life. But if you want to ask a question, it's like, what was the uncaused cause? What was there that caused things that doesn't cause, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so we could actually observe that, right? So there's a mystery at the bottom of physics, I would say. People know this. It's called the mystery at the bottom of physics. Is you could observe physical laws and scientific laws. Like if you push things, they move, right? But we don't know why. Neil deGrasse Tyson exploded about this on a Joe Rogan podcast. He started freaking out because Joe Rogan was like, but why? He doesn't know. Nobody knows, right? If you push things and they move, you could see that happening. That's Isaac Newton's law. But we don't know why it happens. We just know that that's what happens, and that's our science. But there's actually something you have an insider view into. That is your spirit. See, when you move your hand, you could see the chemical reactions going on, the neurons firing, the force being applied, the energy moving, all that. You could look at that, observe it in the neurons, but there's something you can't observe by just looking at neurons. There's something you have a special insight to by being a person moving your hand. Something that actually wills the cause of something before it is caused by the physical elements. That is the consciousness, the spirit. You can actually will to move your appendages and then observe the things occurring afterwards towards the will. And so the thing at the mystery at the bottom of physics that causes physics that we can observe within ourselves is consciousness. And so when you ask this question, what is the uncaused cause that caused the universe? Well, maybe it's God. Maybe it's spirit, it's consciousness. And the earth was without form, void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Now. It's very interesting because the void and waters, that's exactly what you would expect. I'm sure in your little science diagrams and stuff, you've seen like those little balls and stuff, and they're put together, and there's little electron balls orbiting. That's a lie. They was tricking you the whole time. Physicists know this full well. It's called electron clouds. If you ever taken physics and came a little further, if you've been in college, you know electron clouds exist. You know it's actually about probabilities. You know the slit experiment, things go in waves, all that sort of stuff. And it's because things aren't objects like we think they are. Really, they're more of a sea of attractive and repulsive forces. But the reason we put them in like ball diagrams is so we can see sort of how they move about. And we can make predictions and understand them and build models, but that's not how they actually work. In reality, things sort of flow like water, vibrations and stuff. That's why it makes sense that before anything is really formed, it's just waters. It's just flowing and stuff. And I mean, if you want to get on that Big Bang stuff again, it's like at the beginning, people believe everything was heated up to the point where everything was just flowing in on each other. And so first you have the spirit, then second you have the spirit forming of the waters of potential, and then you have that spirit forming things into order, right? And it makes sense that you need a spirit to form things into order, because think about it on a basic level. What happens when you don't clean your room? It gets messy. If you don't take care of your house, it breaks down. You need to activate your consciousness to actually put things in order. And it says that's how it happened in the beginning of the universe. Order first began things. And it makes sense that way, right? The first law, well, not the first, one of the main laws of thermodynamics is entropy, which is things tend to chaos. How in the world would that physical law have created a universe of order? Doesn't make sense, right? So God was over the waters of the deep, hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, let there be light, right? So you got spirit, you got life, you got things to make potential with. What do you need next? You need the time to form it. The thing about light is it not only illuminates things to see, not only activates existence, but light is time, because time is the most fastest thing. A photon experiences reality like that, because a photon is the reason time is like relative and stuff like that. That's Einstein. That's special relativity. That's general relativity. And this Bible thing had to figure it out. Chapter 1, verse 3. So yeah, time started. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. That's the invention of knowledge and stuff. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. Then God said, let there be firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. So now this dude is forming planets. Because think about it, you got all these materials and stuff floating around, and then now it's like, how do you differentiate these things? Okay, the firmament, you gather some gases, because firmament is like a gas, into one place, and then put another in this place. Thus God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. So he divided the waters in between this firmament. What's a firmament? It's a gaseous atmosphere. So he's forming planets and stars and rocks and stuff. And so it's like there's the earth, and then there's the gaseous thing, and then there's the above and the rest. That's the firmament divided from the firmaments, dog. And God called the firmament heaven. That's the sky. So the evening and the morning were the second day. Then God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. So now he's making land. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let the earth bring forth grass, and herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, the herb that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the third day. Then God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be signs for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be lights for the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth. And it was so. We measure our months and years, as you know, of course, by the sun and the moon. Then God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser night to rule the night. And of course, we make our days and weeks by that. He made the stars also. God set them in the firmament. People use stars to guide themselves as sailors and to mark seasons when we first didn't understand how to better just measure weather and the orbit around the sun. God set them in firmament in the heavens, give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, let the waters abound with abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens. So God created sea creatures and every living thing that moves, with which the waters abounded according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And if you're following some sort of evolutionary perspective, which might be true, but I don't know, sea creatures were first. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, fill the waters and the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth. So the evening and the morning were the fifth day. Then God said, let the earth bring forth a living creature according to its kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth, which was according to its kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth according to its kind, cattle according to its kind, everything that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw it was good. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over creeping things that creeps on the earth. All right. Well, now you're in the image of God. And that means you have certain inalienable rights. And so all that talk about rights and stuff, that stuff's not real unless you're made in the image of God. you don't have value unless you're made in the image of God. And that's saying you have a spirit, which is valuable. Because you ask a question, if someone's doing all sorts of horrible things or things I disagree with, why should they live? And it's because they were made in the image of God and they have certain rights. And then you want to ask, well, I want to make rights this and that. Well, if the rights don't align with what God said, then the rights don't exist in the first place. Because if God doesn't exist, then your rights don't exist. Your rights are dependent on the idea that fundamentally, from the universe, the most valuable and creative thing in the universe made you. And you therefore have an inalienable right of life, even if you do bad stuff. And you're worth something, right? And that's true. And you cannot let go of that being true. And the other thing is that we have a dominion over the fish of the sea. Proverbs says that a righteous man treats his animal well, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. And you realize later, God puts Adam in a garden to tend to the leaves and the animals. And this is saying is like a righteous person is ruling over the animals and taking care of them. A constant image in the Bible is a shepherd. He rules over the sheep and he takes care of the sheep. And so be wary of people who are constantly always trying to put natural elements over people. I knew a guy one time who just wanted to kill everybody because he thought that the people were a plague to the earth. And I'm sure there's many more people like that. And they think that nature should abound. There's something that Jesus said. He said, you are the salt of the earth, and the earth loses its flavor. It is good for nothing. And so if you want to talk about, well, the trees and things are more valuable than people, but who gives it that value? And it's the spirit. And why is that spirit valuable? Because it is the most fundamental, special thing. It is the image of God. So therefore, each person has valuable and furthermore has dominion over all the animals and plants. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created them. That means the image of God is also male and female. Some people think like Adam was like a mix. Maybe, I don't know. I think he was male, but he might have been a mix and then he turned it not into a mix after. But that's the image of God. And so it's like, okay, the most important creative and loving thing and powerful thing is a man and a woman together. And then it makes you wonder about all this stuff trying to separate that. And that's true. And we're gonna figure that all out later, because I got some crazy stuff to say about psychology, Carl Jung, the development of a person, development of children, how it relates to male and female. It's going to be crazy. Also, they're the thing that creates life, right? Because God is life and spirit. And so you need male and female to create life. And so, I mean, that should be a take off to you, like, oh yeah, maybe, but so there's that. Then God blessed them, and God said, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over everything that moves on the earth. And God said, see, I've given to you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed, to you it shall be for food. Also to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, in which there is life, I have given every green herb for food. And it was so. Then God saw that everything he had made, and indeed it was very good. So this evening and the morning were the sixth day. So that's the first chapter. That's the beginning. I'll keep this short, but yeah, I got some crazy stuff in store. If you want to see the rest of the questions I start answering with these things, all from the beginning of the fundamental structure of the world to the apocalypse, and to right now. So yeah.